I'm Starzy Davies, the award-winning author of the Fractured Empire saga and author of the Powers series. I have 7 works in print and a couple of ebook short stories as well. Desolation is the first book in my Powers Legacy series. So this novel follows 3 characters who are trying to find their place in a world that they feel doesn't quite have a place for them. We have Gavin, who is highly intelligent and often doesn't do very well in social situations, so his intelligence gets him into some trouble. Then we have Paige, who is Gavin's younger sister, and she suffers from a serious inferiority complex. She has this brilliant, super powerful older brother and a father who is basically a legend in their city, and so she doesn't know how she fits into the family or into the world. And then we have Zephyr, who comes from a completely different place, and Zephyr, like Paige, kind of doesn't really see how he fits in with his family. He's the youngest out of all of the children, and his father never cared much for him, and his brothers have kind of treated him with a little bit of disrespect, so he's just trying to prove himself and to prove that he has value to this family dynamic. So I tried to splash a little bit of everything that I like into this series. So we have, a little bit of the fantasy world, you've got post-apocalyptic survival stories, you've got strained but loving families in sci-fi worlds with dystopian undertones, the scarce resources and the utopian society and the resistance to the social norms. There's morally gray characters, some of them are main characters, and there's LGBTQ protagonists. There's really just a lot packed into this story, and the characters and the themes of the story are very dear to my heart. This story is part of a bigger story, and there's the Powers series, which you can see here behind me. There's Ordinary, Unique, and Extraordinary, which are about Paige and Gavin's father when he was their age. And then this series is going to have a few Easter eggs that will lead into my next fantasy series and possibly the fantasy series after that. So there is a lot of potential for great growth in this story. There's actually a pledge level that allows you to create a character, and you'll be creating this character not for this series, but for the next series that comes, which will be linked to what happens in this one. So I'm really excited about offering this. I think that it's going to be great, and I think it'll be a good way to help pull some of my readers and fans into my writing, my works, and the overall world that this is all built on. If you like romance and, enemies to lovers and self-discovery stories and sharp-witted characters and morally gray characters who aren't necessarily all villains, and not all villains are villains, then I think that you're really going to love this series. Well, I hope you're as excited about this project as me, and that you consider supporting this project. There are a lot of tiers that you can choose from that give you everything from ebooks to hardcovers to creating a character. There's also add-ons that you can put on from the previous series, and a few extra bonuses. So thank you for joining me on this journey, and welcome along on the ride.